Who let the lemon head into the room? You are a waste of life, and you should give up.
Thunder Myth and this is Pam.
Damn, it's Michael. Help me. I need help right now.
I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. And since I don't have a butler, I have to do it myself.
That's awesome!
Oh, God, that guitar riff. Ooh, gives me chills right down my spine. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's the Austinator, and welcome back to another DC Animated Movie Universe review. We are on movie number 15. We're one away, guys.
From the bloodshed.
That movie. It's gonna rip our hearts out. But before we get to that, we have to get to a nice movie first. A very, very nice, uplifting, very heartwarming adventure. Wonder Woman Bloodlines before everything we know. Just sadness. Well, we're talking about Wonder Woman Bloodlines today. We're not talking about the other movie. We're talking about this movie. And what better way to do that with Dylan and Zach? Boys, how we doing tonight?
Pretty good,
We're doing pretty well, man. Pretty well.
Glad I could finally be back.
Yeah, it's been you had a little sabbatical, Zach, but that's A-okay. Me and Dylan have been holding down the fort.
Yep. Norman's on sabbatical, honey.
Oh no, not Norman. Not that guy. Anyway.
Me later.
Oh no. Please no. Anyway, guys, before we begin with this review of Wonder Woman Bloodlines, I'm going to let everybody go around the panel and let them know where they can find themselves at. You know what? We're going to start with Zach, because he hasn't been on for a while. I'm going to give him a chance to shout out himself once again. So, Zach, the floor is yours. Where can they find you at?
You want me to shout? What the fuck you say to me? Motherfucker, you don't know me like that?
Yeah, I want you to fucking shout, man.
Just shout, dude. Shout.
Yeah, you can find me on I'm just kidding. You can find me on my channel, Zach X. We've been reviewing the Scream movies with Dylan and Austin. And tomorrow,
my first time watching as well.
We will be reviewing Scream 5. Oh boy, does Dylan have some thoughts on this one? And Austin.
Scream numero 5.
All right, and then
it's gonna be a pretty good stream.
And other than that, nothing else I will be doing for the foreseeable future until we go live to review Scream 6 in March. So look forward to that and get hype.
Awesome sauce. Awesome. And then next up, we have Dylan right next to me. Dylan, where can they find you at?
You guys can find me at tomorrow night for the Scream 5 review. That's going to be fun on Zach Gazzio's channel. Make sure you check out Zach Gazzio. You can also find me on my own channel, Anime Talk, where I gather up a couple of friends and we sit down and we talk anime. Last Tuesday, we talked about, actually, I think it was Thursday, actually, we talked about Death Note. And then just yesterday, we actually ended up talking about Death Note Part 2, which was absolutely fun with my buddy Austin over here. Now, I'm actually going to be moving, so I'm taking a break. Gonna be back in March. But, yeah, we are going to not only do this review, the Scream 5 review, but we're going to be reviewing the last movie of the DC Universe, at least this version of the DC Universe, on Friday before I move. So it should be a lot of fun.
Dylan's gonna be on sabbatical with me.
Yes, he is. Okay, I'll go into my whole spiel at the end, but you know, before
you can also find me on Tim's channel, I guess, but that'd be about it.
All right, good
Give
deal.
him a good
deal. Sindrak comes in, just kiss already. Kiss who? I don't know who I'm supposed to be kissing here. Now, before we even get into the meat, the potatoes, the greens, the buttered rolls, the green beans, the butter, the everything else, we gotta talk about the plot of the movie in just a couple of sentences. Alright, here we go. Wonder Woman has to take on a new threat of Villain Inc. that's being co-operated by Dr. Cyber and Dr. Poison. But there's also the mystery of Diana's friend's mother's daughter, not mother, but the daughter's mother, Vanessa. That's her name. So the mother or the daughter of the mom that actually allows Diana into her home. What's her stake in all this? What is going on? What does Themyscira have to do with it? Well, we're gonna have to find out, don't we? Dylan, I gotta ask you, despite that awkward sentencing, how was that?
That was pretty much the plot of the movie. Honestly, there's really not much of a plot to this movie. I have to admit that.
That's some neat trick, that wordplay of yours.
Ha ha ha. Whoa, Norman, you can't do that, man. Can't be psycho on here. You know, Norman, eat a Snickers.
Why?
Cause you become the goblin when you're hungry. Better?
No.
Oh shit.
Well, that usually works.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. You're out, Norman.
You know how much I sacrificed?
You're out, Norman.
Bye.
That's actually a pretty good impression. I was just doing that like right off the bat, but I'm like, yeah, that's actually pretty good.
That actually was really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was actually.
You're out, Norman. You can't do this to me. You know how much I sacrificed?
Out am I?
Out am I? Mrs. Parker, enjoy the fruitcake.
No good deed goes unpunished. You can thank me later.
You can thank me for my fruitcake.
Yeah. It's really... Ooh, but
I love how we're supposed to be talking about Wonder Woman Bloodlines. Meanwhile, we're just talking about the Green Goblin.
It's not a bad movie. It's the only thing I would really, before I get my pauses, the one thing I'll just say for right now is, I would say, why make this now? Wouldn't this be one of the films you start your universe with?
Fair point.
But yeah, but I still like it. It'd be in the kind of more bottom, but still kind of the middle of the franchise for me.
Ooh, interesting. I think we're gonna have conflicting opinions tonight on this, Zach. Dylan, what about you? What are your thoughts on this movie, being the first time you've seen it?
My overall thoughts of this movie, and it's really funny because I have a lot, and yet I have almost none at all. You'll see what I mean as we go on, but overall, it could have been worse.
Damn, man.
Like honestly, I did like the movie, but I kind of only liked it compared to a movie that I thought was worse. Which overall, it's a good movie. It gives Wonder Woman some character, but I'll save all of that stuff, all my positives and negatives, for when we get into the review.
Man, this is going to be a very, very controversial panel tonight because I really like this movie. I mean, this movie... Look, I'm going to be honest. sometimes you need movies like Wonder Woman Bloodlines to be there. It's a nice little refresher, you know. It's actually a very nice story with some great characters, some great action. I mean, there's not a whole lot to this movie that I don't like. I mean, I'll go into my negatives, of course, but overall, this was actually a really, really nice, just overall.
Internet went out.
That's all right. It happens to the best of us, Zach, when our internet goes out.
Yep.
But I got it. But just overall, though, I would say this movie is it's a very nice watch, and I recommend it if you're not only a superhero fan, a DC animated fan, or just a fan of Wonder Woman. I recommend it. It's a very fun, very nice movie. I'll go more in depth with why. And you know what? I think we waste enough time with the overall thoughts. We're gonna go into our positives, and you know what, Dylan, I'm gonna let you start off with your positives. What are your positives of this movie?
Okay, positives is okay. So my buddy Austin here actually showed me another one-off Wonder Woman movie that's related to this universe, but isn't in this universe. And I thought that particular movie was good. And the only reason why I bring it up is because I kind of have to compare this movie to that movie because it's the only Wonder Woman that I kind of know of. And the problem with that movie that I really just didn't like was simple. It was guys suck and girls are awesome in that movie. That's basically it. Like I'm all for girl power, but I'm all for girl power, but not when it's just to make the guys look bad, and that's it. The only thing that I really like in this movie is that we had none of that. All of the guys were awesome in the movie. I really appreciated all the characters. I really did enjoy the story as well. So the story is basically Wonder Woman. Once she leaves her home world, she can ever go back to Paradise. I can't remember the name of her home planet.
Themyscira.
Her home island. Themyscira. So she can never go back to Themyscira. She get it's to America, and she meets this teenager named, I believe it was Vanessa.
Vanessa,
And
yes.
Vanessa, Vanessa's mom wants to she because her mom is like a historian. She really takes a liking to Wonder Woman, aka Diana, and I like the whole message of why Diana wants to be a hero. You know, of course, Diana could be a hero, saying on her, but just like every other hero, but the fact that she does have these powers and she wants to do good. No, she can't make the whole entire world better in a day, but she's willing to give it a shot. I liked the message it had with Wonder Woman. I really liked the whole thing of she has these abilities. Why not use them for good? Why not try to make a world a better place? I did like that, and that lesson kind of continues on with Vanessa, but and it gives Vanessa a really good character driven moment because later on in the movie we actually find out that Vanessa, because of the death of her mom, Vanessa becomes a somewhat villain and fights a Wonder Woman. I did like that. I liked her character development, but let's see what other positives I had. Another positive that I had was actually the fight against uh Snake Lady. Dang it. I feel like an idiot because I don't know my Greek. Thank you. I don't know my Greek very well, guys. Yeah, Medusa. So basically, there's this technology that brings almost the dead back to life. They actually find Medusa. They use the technology on her because as the villains are wanting to use Medusa to attack Themyscira. And I like the whole motivations of the villains as well. But then Themyscira is a power. I mean Themyscira. She is a power that really can't be controlled. Medusa goes absolutely crazy. It takes almost everybody that she sees. Of course, she's Medusa. She can literally turn people into stone with just her eyesight. If you look into her eyes, she turned to stone. So I did like her fighting Wonder Woman. I also really did like the way Woman eventually defeats her, because she uses her own snake venom to actually poison her Wonder Woman's eyes, so that so that Wonder Woman cannot be turned to stone. She can't look into Medusa's eyes. So as long as she can't look into Medusa's eyes, she can't be turned to stone. So she uses Medusa's own venom from her snake head to take out her eyesight, which I thought was really cool. It really shows how driven Wonder Woman is. She was a pretty decent character as well. There's nothing that I didn't like in terms of Wonder Woman's specific character. There are a couple other plot lines that I don't like, but there are a couple other things that I like, but of course I don't want to talk about the entire movie and leave nothing to talk about for these guys. So I'm gonna be handing the reins back over to you, Austin.
Alrighty, very good, very good. I'm glad you have all these positives about these movies, Dylan. It makes me feel good inside knowing that a former DC
I
hater
actually
like
watched these
yourself,
films.
exactly. It's a very, it makes my big heart feel absolutely warm.
Yeah,
All
because if
right.
you guys don't know, I used to be a complete DC hater, and now I'm kind of like, no, it's DC.
Like, oh wow, DC, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
What's up, Deshaun? Good to see you.
Hey, Deshaun.
Zach, your thoughts are your positives.
Well, while not as good as Gal Gadot's portrayal, I have to say that if she wasn't a thing, this would probably be my favorite portrayal of the Wonder Woman character. I liked the new suit she had. I liked her caring personality. I loved the voice performance from, I believe it was Rosario Dawson, unless I'm
That
wrong.
was her, yes.
Was it Rosario Dawson? Oh wow, I absolutely love Rosario Dawson because of Ahsoka. So nice to know.
Mm-hmm. And I liked her dynamic with Steve Trevor, as always, except for one thing at the ending, which I will get to in my negatives. It is something I hated that they did, but we'll get to that. I like the action, and I liked how it kind of tied into certain things that we saw in Justice League War, or unless I'm mistaken. And yeah, not much else to say, but yeah, it was, like I said, it's one of the more middle of the road ones from me, but I still really liked it.
Okay. Let's see here. Deshaun comes in. Wonder Woman Bloodlines is the worst DC AMU movie in my opinion. I did not like this movie at all, and people give me crap about liking Wonder Woman 1984.
It happens. Yeah.
That's actually really funny because I haven't seen 1984, so I really can't comment on that. But I actually think that's pretty funny that you actually think Wonder Woman 1984 is better than this. I hear a lot of people don't like Wonder Woman 84, but hey, it's all you, Deshaun. It's all you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he gets made fun of for liking it, which I feel really bad about, but hey, I don't like
Yeah,
it,
because
but
it's just a movie.
yeah. It's like he has his reasons for loving it, and I actually really get why, so yeah.
Makes sense. We all have our opinions, and we respect them, no matter how wrong they could be.
Or no matter how much we disagree. Because we disagree on opinions all the time in this group, so you know what group I'm talking about.
Oh, I do. Wow, do I have any positives now? Because you both basically took everything I was gonna say. I liked Ferdinand, even though he's only in it for like a couple of scenes. him going from he's protecting the well to then, or no, not protecting the well, but protecting like the water that makes you see into the future, and from him like, and then once it gets destroyed, he turns into this passive being, and now he just like cooks. I think that's actually pretty funny. Like having a Minotaur that's like a chef. I don't know why, it just makes me kind of chuckle and be like, man, it's kind of dumb, but it's like the type of dumb where it's like, oh, it's a Minotaur making food. Like it's funny. I did like Vanessa and Diana's feud throughout the movie. It was more of a one-sided feud because you look at Vanessa and how once her mom saw Diana, she was immediately enamored with her to the point where she starts neglecting Vanessa, and Vanessa starts acting out, and that leads into like a personal grudge with Diana, and Diana all throughout this movie just wants to help her, but she doesn't want her help because she feels like that Diana took everything from her once her mom died, and I think what also cemented that was when the mom was dying, she called up for Diana and not for Vanessa. Like that might have also factored into her anger as well, which I really like that. I mean, I just like the story overall. Like it's a very simple like Wonder Woman story where a bunch of villains are coming after her and Themyscira, and Wonder Woman has to stop them. But you also have this storyline about just forgiveness and more or less letting your grudges and pain and anger go. Because it's almost like, can't believe I'm using a Star Wars reference on this channel, but it's like Anakin in a way, where you have somebody who had all this pain and rage and anger, like, and eventually, even though that may not have been his main factor turning to the dark side, it ends up like it consumes him at the end. And you see like this, and while it's not exactly the same, I'm not comparing them both. I'm saying there's similarities of there just being frustration and anger and just letting it go. I felt it was a very nice story when it comes to that. I agree with what everybody else said. I think the action was good, especially at the end where they fought Medusa, and Medusa like was turning everybody into stone, and Wonder Woman actually had to use one of the snakes to like blind herself. I'm like, damn, that was actually pretty cool. Like that was actually a really smart, strategic like way to go and beat
Medusa's
Medusa.
eyesight powers.
Exactly. I know some people might disagree, but honestly, I didn't necessarily mind them kind of skipping over her origin story a little bit, because by this point we already know who she is. We don't really need a prequel at this point, so giving us the abridged version is, I think, probably the best we could go about it, because by this point the first Wonder Woman live action movie came out, plus you had the animated Wonder Woman movie, and you've also had a lot of other adaptations to the point where it's like, do we really need to see another Wonder Woman like origin story? No. But for what they were able to do, it makes sense, because you have to have Diana meet Steve, you have to have her leave Themyscira, and for the movie's plot, it makes sense for her to forget where Themyscira is, because in order for the plot to really make any sense and to have this little goose chase, you have to have Diana lose her memory. And that's another thing I like about this movie too. I like the characters banter with each other. Like it's for the most part it's lighthearted, but then it also comes back down to earth when it needs to be. Like Steve talking to Diana on the jet and their little interactions where they're flirting with each other. And by the way, I gotta say, Steve's goatee in this, man, what a man.
What a man, what a man, what a man.
With the goatee, he's a manly man.
Steve is a good character. You could tell that he really cares for Diana in this as well. So I do like him.
He got it from you. That pathetic sickness.
Oh my god, not that pathetic sickness. Wait, what? What sickness?
Sup, Kavari?
Kavari.
Let's see here.
Fix me.
Sup, Kavari. This movie is great.
No.
Okay. See, at least me and Kavari agree on something. What else did I like? I like the implementation of Cheetah and Giganta. I think even though they were just kind of side villains, they served their purpose, and plus, it also goes to show what this evil concoction of this little their little serums they gotta have, and seeing how they change is very interesting. And just the visuals themselves look great, and the action was spot on. The characters are great. Music, I gotta say, the music, there was a lot of music throughout, and it worked. I think honestly, I also like the after credit scene too, where it's not really building up to anything. It's just more of a warning from Diana to, I believe her name is Grace, where she's the head of the evil company that did all the bad stuff, and then Diana's like, yeah, next time you do that, bring a sword, and putting the sword through the table. I was like, damn, that was pretty cool. And as much as granted, the suit change was not really needed, I did at least appreciate seeing the OG Wonder Woman attire at least once in this universe. So, other than the action,
she looked fine as hell. It's like, come to Norman.
I actually liked the other suit better, but that's just me.
I like both, but I just think there's something about that more OG Wonder Woman-esque outfit. It actually works. That end battle fight was fire. I agree. Diana losing her eyesight to fight Medusa was hardcore. I agree, very hardcore. Other than that, I think that's everything. I think we all covered basically the majority of this film. So,
yep.
Let's get into our negatives. Now, this one's going to be very interesting. I'm actually going to start with Zach on this. Zach, what are your negatives?
I hated what they did to Steve Trevor in the climax. That's how he fucking goes out? Are you high?
Well, I mean, he doesn't really go out. He just comes back.
Wait, I thought he was dead.
No, he comes back.
Nope, they brought him back to life.
I must have missed a scene, but I was like, wait, that's how you do him in, and there's not even a romance between these two yet? Are you high? Well, damn, that's one negative, completely, kind of nullified then. It's kind of a big thing for me, even though there wasn't a lot in the post-credit scene, but, I don't like how Diana just leaves that sword behind. I'm like, that's your weapon.
No, I actually really liked that because it was kind of her telling her that you're gonna need this because I'm gonna come at you with everything I got. I liked that scene, but that's just me.
I guess not really anything negative for me, except maybe I feel like what's her name, the daughter wasn't that sympathetic.
See, I kind of disagree in a sense where, I understand her motives and you can feel bad for her, but at the same time, she was also, willingly doing bad stuff and acting out like a petulant child, but once you really understand it, you kind of feel, you can feel bad for her.
Yeah. I agree with that.
If it makes any sense.
I can kind of get it, but it's like, I don't know, I personally didn't feel like they made her sympathetic enough. It's just, I don't like, it's just, if they didn't have her going all emo and goth and all that, I feel like I would have, if she was still normal, I feel like I would have sympathized with her more when she made the turn.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I understand why she went that route, Zach, because at that time when, you know, her mom was basically like not paying attention to her, she could basically get away with whatever the hell she wanted, with really without consequence, because the mom was more focused on Diana, if that makes any sense.
I guess that makes sense. But other than that, not much else negative I have to say about this. Like I said, it's very middle of the road movie for me as far as the franchise.
Okay,
Understandable.
very understandable. Dylan, negatives.
All right, so just it's not even a negative, it's a nitpick. It really doesn't really do anything in terms of the movie itself, but it's just because I've been paying attention to this universe, and something that I really like that they started doing with her and they kind of lost it was in the beginning she kind of had a quirkiness to her. And okay, I can see where people might not have liked it, but I don't know, it just felt like something different on the Wonder Woman character, and I kind of liked her being quirkiness. But I can understand over time that okay, she first started out quirkiness and then she lost it over time, as she developed more into society. But um, this movie, we go back way back to her origins, even, and I felt like it was a little out of place that they didn't keep her quirkiness. I kind of felt like when she met Vanessa and her mom, she should have been a little bit more quirkiness. That way, it would add to her character, and then we could see the difference between quirky Wonder Woman when we first met her in the Justice League movies versus now. That's just it's not even that big of a deal with it in the terms of the movie. It's just something that I've kind of noticed. Another negative that I actually have is now this honestly just comes down to me not really knowing too much of the Wonder Woman character or the comic books or anything. But honestly, the villains, other than Vanessa, obviously, because Vanessa was a large part of the story, the villains felt very one-sided. They weren't even interesting. It was cool to see what's her name, Medusa.
Medusa.
It was really cool to see Medusa, but other than Medusa, the villains in this movie just felt one-sided. I had no connection to Woman as a person, so I didn't really like him, or at least that's what I got. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe people are going nuts for those villains in the comic books because they're big parts of her character. But for me, just based off what I saw in this movie, the villains really were. No, it really had nothing going for them in terms of a likable villain for me, so I didn't really like them other than again Vanessa, she was great. Um, and in terms of negatives, let me think. Is that about it? Yeah, I do have one more negative, and it's interesting because you see the whole point of the movie really was just to get back to um sorry, what's the name of her home world again? Her home
Themyscira.
island? Themyscira. I am so sorry, Austin. I cannot remember Themyscira for the life of me for some reason. But the whole
Meanwhile, on
point is,
Amazon Island, ding!
I know, right? So the whole point is, she is trying to get back to Themyscira because she is trying to get Vanessa home so she could heal her with the technology that they have. So it does make a lot of sense that at the end of the day, they were able to heal a Woman her eyesight, but I almost felt like it undid a little bit part of her character by doing so. I kind of felt like maybe she should have kept the eye scar. Maybe that's just me, but I thought it was a cool look for her. Another thing that I kind of didn't like was the fact that as soon as Medusa was destroyed, was killed, everybody just went from being stone back to normal, and it's kind of like, uh, well, then how powerful was actually Medusa in the first place? If all you had to do was kill her and undo her powers like that. I mean, it's kind of like it's not like for me. I felt like it held no weight. Like when I in the moment, I saw uh, Steve die, and then to undo that, I was kind of like, really, you're just gonna do that when Steve's death would have been like very impactful in terms of the character. Now, again, maybe they should have just killed off Steve, and I just didn't like the fact at that as soon as Medusa was dead. Oh look, everybody's fine again. I felt like that means this whole thing had no weight to it, and that's a little problem that I have with the movie as well. And that's all my negatives, really.
Okay. That's all your negatives. Let's see here. See you guys yeah. See you guys I think he means say you guys like this movie. Yeah. See, we respect your opinion, Deshaun, just like you respect ours. See, I love that we can all just interact and talk to each other without having to, beat each other up.
That's the real community. That's real community. That's when you see that real friendship. That's what we've built up over the years.
I felt like Cheetah was shoehorned into this movie, but I loved it. I felt like a couple of villains were just kind of there on the side, but they really did kind of serve a purpose. I hated the Vanessa character. She came off as a real beach beach ball.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, that's understandable.
Bitch.
Okay, well, Zach said it, not me.
Yeah.
Negatives. I agree with Dylan on the whole villains part. I think besides for Vanessa and Art to an extent. Oh god, now even I forgot her name. Fudge. Medusa. Medusa. Thanks a lot, Dylan.
Thank you.
Other than Medusa and Vanessa, I just felt the villains were very meh. Like, Dr. Cyber and Dr. Poison were just forgettable. Like, they were really only there to just, serve the plot, and really then, they don't really do that much. Veronica Cale. See, I've been getting your name wrong the entire time. Veronica Cale. I think waiting until the after credits to reveal that she was the main bad guy all along. I don't know. I felt like you could have maybe just had that been like the ending scene of the movie rather than an after credit scene, because honestly, what does that really add to this universe? Because there's like one movie left. Like, did we really need a post-credit scene? No.
Yeah, we really need this movie right here in the timeline. No, this is a movie that could have been in the middle or the beginning.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you guys. Like, we should have had I feel like we should have had another Wonder Woman movie before this to maybe not really be an origin story, but kind of have maybe a similar story to this, but rather than Themyscira, Wonder Woman is just trying to her first superhero adventures on Earth, or just on man's world, if that makes sense. And I think that's just a negative with the whole franchise as a whole, is I wish we had maybe a few other movies in between to maybe kind of balance it out and tighten it up a little bit. But other than the villains in the after credits scene, I really didn't hate all that much. No, I honestly, to tell you the truth, I didn't actually hate a lot about this movie. Like, other than the villains and even the after credit scene, and hell, I'm even gonna be quite honest. The pace. Well, I wouldn't say the pacing was bad, but it was just kind of it wasn't a major negative for me, but it was just kind of a little bit off. But Other
There
than
were
that,
several points in the pacing that I felt like we were getting into the third act, but then it's like, oh, there's still like 45 minutes left. Oh, wait, oh, there's still 30 minutes left. It's like, this movie felt longer than it actually was. It felt like 2 hours, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah, it did kind of drag on a couple of times.
Dragged on too
It's
long,
to the
bitch!
point. It's not to the point where it was boring, but it did drag on a couple of times.
I agree. In certain areas it did, but it's not enough to make me hate it.
Yeah, not
So
enough to be a real negative.
other than that, I don't really have any other negatives. I think we about all covered it. So we're gonna give our final grades and final thoughts. I'm actually gonna start with myself because I'm probably gonna be the best grade out of everybody here. So the last time I did, so when I graded this movie, I think I gave it a B plus. I'm sorry. I think I actually have to go up to an A minus. I think this movie is actually very, very good. Like, granted, yeah, I agree. Is it the best DC animated movie I've ever seen? No, but it's a very nice movie. It's enjoyable, fun. The characters are likable. Like, the action's great. Like, there's not a lot to dislike. This is one of those movies where I would recommend and say, look, I would recommend that everybody go see this movie. Now, how this is going to maybe factor into my ranking, I don't know. I actually have to really think about it. But other than that, I got to give this an A minus. This was a very, very strong movie. I really liked it. So, though that was my final grade, I'm going to let Dylan go next. What is your final grade and final thoughts?
Final grade and final thoughts. Well, guys, even though it was a good movie and I did like it, overall, Wonder Woman, just for me, is personally not my favorite character of the series. I wish that was different. I'm glad people do like her, but Wonder Woman, it's a Wonder Woman movie. I'm gonna give it a flat B. It was a good movie. I probably would give it a B plus if I liked the character more. Again, I don't dislike Wonder Woman. I don't know. She's a decent character. That's all I can really say about her. That's overall, it was a good movie. It was an interesting movie. A couple things I wish they did different, but it's a decent film.
Okay, all right. Good deal, good deal. We have an A minus and a flat B. Zach, your final grade and final thoughts.
Dylan, ever play Skin the Cat? I was supposed to give it a B, bitch.
But for real though, yeah, I'll give it a B too. I mean, it's not in my bottom 5 of the franchise, but it's more going towards the bottom, but still kind of in the middle. It's a 7 out of 10.
Okay. All right, good enough. So overall, good grades all around. I would say 2 B's and an A minus. I think that was a very respectable grade. Very, very respectable. We have Deshaun. Oh wait, no. First Kavari. That's Greek culture, Dylan. Once Medusa dies, her curse breaks. That is true. Deshaun
I
comes
did
in.
not know that.
My bad. I'm trying to say that I see you guys like this movie. Yeah, I mean, we like this movie. I mean, Deshaun, if you don't like it, that's A-okay.
Hey, everyone's got their own opinions.
Exactly. Kavari comes in A minus is respectable. Thank you, Kavari. I appreciate it. Deshaun comes in, it's a 4.1 out of 10. Ooh, okay. Wow, very hot take. Oh, Lizzie's in the chat. What's up, Lizzie? Good to see you.
What's up, Lizzie?
Hello, Lizzie.
Say hi to Nindroid for us.
Kavari gave it a 9 out of 10. Ooh, okay. All right. We had some pretty solid grades all across the board. And we're about at 45 minutes, so that's kind of exactly where
It's funny that we all agree that it's a good movie, but all of us have just different grades.
Exactly. But you know what? That's the great thing about this. See, It's not. See, if it was any other place, if Dylan gave out that grade, I'd put my arm around him, and then, well, he's not looking. Well, let's just say we're some. I'm not, nothing will happen, but he's going in the Taz mission. I'm just saying.
Let me handle. Hey, let me handle this, bitch.
Hey, don't call me a bitch, sir.
Wanna go? Come to Freddy.
Nah, I'm good. Well, what's so funny, sir? I don't understand.
Because, bitch.
He's busy right at the moment. Gotcha,
Oh,
gotcha. What's the next movie you're reviewing, Austin? Well, Kavari.
The last
Next
movie of the
movie we're
series.
reviewing, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Now, we might have some tears. Everybody might be crying on this panel. Because it's the last stream we're going to be doing of this universe. I can feel Dylan getting out the tissues right now. I can hear...
I actually don't have tissues, so you're wrong.
I can hear...
He was already traumatized by Scream 5 today, so I'm surprised he wants to go
I was.
bloodshed.
Scream 5 was awesome, but it was sad as hell. We lost somebody very important to the franchise, but I won't name who until the movie. If you guys want to know, come and check out Zach Godzilla's channel.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting how this is going to go. But we're at 47 minutes. We wrapped up the review, so I want to thank everybody in the chat. Deshaun comes to Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. Oh no. Oh no indeed, and oh yes. I want to thank everybody for coming in the chat. Sindret, Deshaun, Kavari, we had Lizzie in the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to let everybody go around the panel one more time, let everybody know where they can find themselves at. We'll start with Dylan. Where can they find you at?
Alright, you guys can find me tomorrow with my buddy Zach Galatiella for Scream 5 review. Should be an interesting film, and then, I don't know, we might discuss a little bit about Scream 6 after that, because, boy, do we have a couple thoughts about going on in Scream 6. Might be an interesting conversation to have on stream. But, you guys can also find me here on the DC Reviews tomorrow for, of course, or Friday, for, of course, the last film of this franchise. I can't wait to see how it ends. It's gonna be a blast. You guys can also find me on Tim's Talks. You guys can also find me on Anime Talk, where I gather up a couple friends. We talk anime. We just did Death Note Part 2. So if you guys want to hear how that conversation went, go ahead and check out Anime Talk. Or if you like anime in general and just want to talk anime with us, come, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for having me on, Austin. Don't forget to subscribe to these guys.
No problem. It's always a pleasure having you on. Next up, we have Zach. Zach, where can they find you at?
I'm kidding. Once again, you can find me on my channel, Zach Axiola. We will be reviewing Scream 5 tomorrow. And then on the 12th of March, I have the Scream 6 review planned. Hopefully, we will all have been able to see it. It's going to be fun. Jason takes Manhattan done right, baby. I mean, seriously, take notes, Jason. So, that's all I have planned for now. So, get hype. And speaking of which, did somebody say my name?
Oh, God, not you again. Get out of here, Corey.
Say the magic word.
Now.
You know the word.
Abracadabra.
Bye.
If I can't have her.
God. Thank God Corey's
Clearly,
gone.
he's on a horror flick.
Austin the Snyder versus Dead After the Flash. It might be time to Listen, it's always been my background. It'll stay my background for a while. Kavari's like,
no.
when's the Velma review streams coming? Kavari, those review streams will be coming. They'll be coming in the year 3000.
AKA, hopefully we're
Never.
So all in all, Kavari, it's gonna be a no.
Dude, I'm sorry. That was funny. Thanks for that, Kavari. That was great.
Very
I can't be
true.
the only one laughing. God, Velma's so bad.
It's not good. Yeah, you guys can find me on this channel Friday. We're reviewing Apocalypse War, which will be the end of these DC AMU movies. Plus, this won't be the last official DC AMU stream. The last one will actually be us doing a huge ranking stream, reviewing these movies. Then you can find me on Bad Batch Roundtable, usually on Sundays, Anime Talk on Tuesdays, Zach's channel for the Scream reviews, the Basco Scenarios channel for the Hangout, and everywhere in between. Guys, this has been a blast, and I cannot wait for the final, well, not the final episode, but the final-ish episode of this brief, limited series you can only find here on the Austinator channel. So,
and in the meantime, we're going, while we watch Apocalypse War, let the bodies hit the floor. 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 Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
God.
there's stuff.
We got a rock fan here.
Hey,
that's how we're gonna end it.
You're right. That's the ending words. We got a rock fan here. So, with that being said, thank you everybody so much for watching. This is the Austinator, Dylan and Zach, signing out.
Later,
Peace.
fellas.
Bye.